This is the new 8 Sleep Pod 5 Ultra, and I've actually been sleeping with one for the last 3 years or so. And this new one has actually improved a bunch of different things that could help you fall asleep faster and actually stay asleep. After this video, if you'd like to purchase an 8 Sleep for yourself, you can actually use discount code Mike to save some extra money, and doing so actually helps support this channel so I can keep making videos for you guys. The first thing you're immediately going to notice is that there's now also a blanket that goes alongside with your cover. So it's also getting water that's pumped into it and is either going to be heated or cooled to whatever your preference is, and it's going to be set to the same temperature as your cover. So it creates this more all-encompassing feeling. Both of them essentially will connect directly via 2 hoses that are actually within the cover itself, kind of baked in. You basically just click them in and they're good to go. And that again allows you and your partner to have 2 different thermostats so you guys aren't fighting with each other. As a side benefit, the blanket also kind of acts like a weighted blanket of sorts. There's just a small amount of weight to it, so it's kind of just creating that nice little hug effect of like something that's kind of just pushing down on you just a little bit, but it depends on what you like. Next up, we have the long-awaited buttons. I'm so grateful that they added these. It's really nice to just have something tactile and right there available. If you remember back in the days of the Pod 2 and the Pod 3, we didn't have any way to change the temperature. So you'd have to, in literally complete darkness, find your phone, open up the app, and change the temperature. So having that functionality just right there in a very intuitive manner is so nice. For example, if I wanted to increase the temperature just a little bit, I would hit the top button, I would hold it for a second, and then my side of the mattress will actually vibrate, letting me know that it's heard the command and it's now working on it. And then the middle button is a way to change the elevation and access that easily. Next up, they added something that I really didn't think needed to be part of a bed, but I'm really pleasantly surprised. So let's say, for example, it's bedtime and you're just about to get into bed, your head hits the pillow and monkey mind. You have a million thoughts, you're processing everything that went on through the day and you just cannot shut your brain off. What's nice is you can now actually go into the app and use the speakers that are built into the base to turn on the one and only Dr. Andrew Huberman that will take you through a protocol of NSDR, which is either like 10 minutes or 20 minutes to help get you into a nice state of relaxation. Or you can use some soundscapes like pink noise or brown noise, or you can have a river. And it's handy because you can set a timer that will turn off the audio when either you fall asleep, when you wake up in the morning if you want to have it running the entire night, or just custom. Then on the flip side, if you're waking up in the morning, you can actually do some cool stuff with the alarm now, but we'll get into that later in the video. Also, just to be crystal clear, these are not super pristine, incredibly high quality speakers that every audiophile is going to just love. Keep in mind the placement. It's at the bottom of the bed. It's in the base. It's going to be muffled by the bed itself. So like, it's not really the best placement, but like it got the job done. Another feature that I didn't know if I was going to like because I hadn't tried it in the past yet, and I thought it might be a little gimmicky, is the ability to actually change the elevation. So for the top part of the bed, you can change it up to 45 degrees. And for the lower part of the bed, more so around where your knees are, it'll essentially create like a little peak, a little mountain of like 20 degrees. And it's quite nice. If you read in bed, for example, it's gonna be the best experience versus what I would usually do is basically get a bunch of pillows, oftentimes it's not enough, and basically try to lean against the bare wall, and it's never comfortable enough. Sometimes just my head right against the wall and my neck is just crying. Then there's also interesting positions like zero gravity that will reduce the pressure on your body. Also, if you snore, it can actually detect and then adjust the elevation of the mattress to open up your airways to reduce the amount that you're snoring. When it comes to the cover and the pod, not a crazy amount of changes, but it's small little tweaks that are just very, very nice that are always appreciated. So for example, when it comes to setting up the 8 Sleep, the app walks you through every single little thing. It's quite seamless. It's a very easy experience. But just even from the Pod 4 and the Pod 5, those two had a much easier experience to actually put on the cover. It's just like putting a fitted sheet on. You basically just wrap it around your mattress and you're good to go. Previously on the 2 and 3 model, you had to first put something that would go around your mattress and then something else on top of that, and you'd zip it in. It was just a few more additional steps. It's nice to see that it's a little more seamless now. And the pod looks very similar to the Pod 4, but there's just been some improvements on the hardware internally. When it comes to bedtime and it comes to heating and cooling the mattress, the 8 Sleep is actually going to turn on an hour before your set bedtime and start basically heating or cooling the mattress to your set temperature. That's the only time that the fans are actually going to be slightly noticeable. But again, I put a measuring device beside it and you could barely even see the difference, and I could barely hear the difference. It's very quiet. I was a little worried about it myself previously, but they've had really good fans for a really long time and they know what the heck they're doing. For the exciting part, which maybe is just for me, but I used to design software, so it's very exciting to see that they basically updated their app, and it's a much more delightful, simple experience now. There's only really 2 tabs, basically your home tab, which is essentially where you're changing all the things that you need to change to be able to fall asleep. And then there's the analytics tab, which allows you to dive deeper into how you slept. But let's dive into each of them. So the first section in the home tab is going to be where you change your temperature. Of course, this is going to be very important, but a lot of people get confused why there's 3 numbers specifically. The first one is the temperature you want for actually being able to fall asleep. So if you're like me and you run too hot, you're gonna wanna set that a little bit cooler. Right when you fall asleep, you go into section 2, which is specifically called the night. It's the first 4 hours of your sleep. To actually get higher quality deep sleep, you're gonna wanna set the temperature a little bit cooler. Then you switch over to the dawn section, which is the last 4 hours of your sleep. And it's where you're predominantly gonna be getting more of your REM sleep. And to maximize your sleep here, you actually want it to be a little bit warmer. Just a little bit of sleep 101 here. Your deep sleep is more so for your physical recovery, and your REM sleep is more so for processing your learning, your previous experiences of the day, and your emotional regulation. And just to clarify, it's not like the first 4 hours you're just solely getting deep sleep, and then the last 4 hours you're solely getting REM sleep. You're going through 5 to 6 90-minute cycles where you're basically going from REM all the way to your deepest of deep sleep and then all the way back up to REM, and it's these cycles that go over and over and over. Just in the first 4 hours, the deep section is going to be elongated, and then in the latter section, the REM one is going to be elongated. The next section is where you can set your alarms, and there's a bunch of ways that you can get super fancy with it. You can set a vibration alarm that goes super intense right away or gradually starts to increase. You can also set a heat alarm, which will basically burn you from the pits of Hades. And also now you can use the sound from the speakers to wake up with really nice sounds of. And the last thing that I found very interesting is it can now wake you up within a 30-minute period of what you set to basically maximize how alert and rested you feel. Then you have your elevation section, which again, you can set custom things, or there's more so presets here, which are very handy. You can customize each of them, and then you can basically just click it and it'll adjust the bed accordingly. And then finally, we have our audio section, which is where you can listen to your soundscapes, where you can listen to the one and only Dr. Andrew Huberman for your NSDR sessions. And what I really wish that they would add here is an integration with like Spotify or Audible. It'd be really nice to just listen to a nice fiction audiobook and fall asleep that way. It's a lot of times what I actually do. Then we have the analytics tab, which will tell us a bunch of things about our sleep and also about our health and our biometrics. One thing I would really just preface, and it really messed up me for a while, is I got really obsessive about my sleep scores and how well I was sleeping, to the point where I would basically wake up in the day, look at my sleep score, and if it told me I got a really bad score, the quality of my energy throughout the day and how productive I was would really tank. So I'd really suggest looking at averages over an extended period of time rather than looking on a day-to-day basis. One of the features that is continuously getting better as you continue to use the pod, and also as the sensors get better as the versions go on, is the AI Autopilot. It's making a bunch of adjustments based on my sleep data to actually improve the quality of my sleep. Like, it's interesting to see that people that actually use the 8 Sleep get up to 1 additional hour of sleep every single night. Don't get me wrong, I understand the data is coming from 8 Sleep and it might not be correct. Even if it's a fourth of that number, that compounded over a long period of time is quite terrific. And this really reminds me of a quote from Dr. Matthew Walker, who wrote the book, Why We Sleep. Really changed my perspective on sleep. I highly recommend it. But he said,
the shorter your sleep, the shorter your life.
It's really sad to think about it, but I can say it from the perspective that I used to think, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, I'm not gonna prioritize my sleep. I'm gonna be a dumb 20, 30-year-old. Like, no. As I've aged, I realized just how important it is, and now I prioritize it. The pricing is always the hardest part. Like, it is freaking expensive. It's definitely not affordable for everyone. And look, I'm just here to tell you the prices, and you can decide whether it's a great decision for you or not. So it starts at $3,000 USD for the hub and the cover. for a standard queen size mattress. But if you use discount code Mike, you're actually going to get an additional discount that stacks onto any of the promotions that are currently on the website. Then on top of that, if you do want the base, it's an additional around $2,000, and the blanket is around an additional $1,000. One thing that I'm really not a fan of, and that frustrates me that the industry is moving this way, is that companies like Oura, Whoop, and now 8 Sleep as well, you have to actually pay a subscription on top of purchasing the device itself as well. And you have to do it for at least 12 months. Yes, it is really expensive, but if you can't afford it, it becomes something that's like a gift that keeps on giving to you. It's a set it and forget it kind of situation. I can't remember the last time I did any maintenance on it. I think you have to literally change the water once or twice a year. I don't remember the last time I did it. And it will basically continue to benefit your sleep. Like another great example of this is blackout blinds. You can basically know that your room is going to be perfectly blacked out and you're gonna get high quality sleep from that. It's very similar experience. One additional thing that I heard recently is rather than changing the temperature of your entire house, you can actually just locally change the temperature of your bed itself, so you're not wasting all this energy. It's helped me personally be able to fall asleep faster and also stay asleep, so I'm getting higher quality sleep. If you do decide to get an 8 Sleep for yourself, don't forget to click the link in the description below and use the discount code Mike to get an additional discount that again stacks on top of the discounts that are already on there right now. Just to clarify, 8 Sleep did not pay me for this video, and doing so actually helps support this channel. Like always, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications. I'll see you later, and I hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.